Good morning, everyone. Again. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Education and Outreach Committee. I will ask Chrissy to please call the roll.
All right. Tanya Fairley.
Present.
Reese Isbell.
Here.
Yolanda Jimenez.
Here.
And Derek Matos.
Here.
All right. I hear you all. And I'm just checking real quick. I do see Megan Ellis is in our attendees. So if we could promote her to a panelist.
This is the moderator. Welcome, Megan Ellis. Can we do a mic check?
Thank you so much.
We heard you. Welcome.
Good morning, Megan. We were just calling roll, so I'm just confirming you are here.
I am here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a quorum, so we will move to our first agenda item. Discussion and a possible approval of the June 13th, 2022 committee meeting minutes. This is discussion and approval of the committee meeting minutes from June 13th meeting. Is there any discussion on the minutes, or is there a motion to approve?
Hearing nothing, no changes, I move to approve.
I will second.
Do I have a second? Thank you. We have a motion to approve with a second. I would like to open this for public comment. Please note this is for public comment only on this agenda item. Moderator, please open for public comment.
We are now open for public comment on agenda item 2. If you would like to make a comment, please type the word comment into the Q&A box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen and send that comment to all participants. Dial-in users, please dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take a few seconds now to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to continue?
Yes. We have a motion. Chrissy, please call a roll for the vote.
All right. Tanya.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Tanya Fairley.
Yes.
Megan Ellis.
Yes.
Reese Isbell.
Yes.
Yolanda Jimenez.
Yes.
And Derek Matos.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. Review and discussion of recent and upcoming outreach events and plans. Next, we have our discussion on the outreach events. I will turn the discussion to Chrissy to provide an update.
Thank you. So in your packets, we have a memo that we prepared showing some of the items that we've done. We start with our recent outreach events. On August 21st and 22nd, we attended the Face and Body Skincare and Nail Pro show that was in San Jose. On September 21st, we did an informational meeting with East Bay Refugee and Immigrant Community Consulation. This is in an attempt to partner together with other state organizations to help refugees that are coming into California that may have been licensed in our industry in their country. And on September 25th, we did the Jazzy Beauty and Barber Trade Show that was in Anaheim, California. And then we also have created some new publications. We did a new fact sheet on home salons to answer common questions about home salons and provide information on how to apply. We also did a new illegal tools flyer. And what we did was we created that with the universal symbol with the giant circle around those illegal tools with the line through it. And then we also provided new information on skincare machines and devices on an industry bulletin that was sent out to all cosmetologists and estheticians, just reminding people of the types of services that are within their scope. We are also looking to do more email blasts. We have sent 3 email blasts to licensees regarding personal service permit, our industry bulletin, and home salons. We are also looking at, sorry, just moving forward. We are looking to try to do that on a monthly basis. This is something that we would like the committee to discuss, to see if this is something that you feel would benefit the industry. We are starting, we always do, we do a monthly internal newsletter that you all receive, that talks about current trends and concerns in the industry. So maybe that's something we could send out to licensees as well. We have done, which I believe you have seen, our new personal service permit video, kind of in a way to promote our personal service permit. We did that for licensees, and now we've recently done one for consumers that will be sent out to you. We had a couple edits, and so we'll be sharing that with you all probably later today. We wrapped up our safe sandal season. Unfortunately wasn't as successful as we have been in the past. We usually do get news stations that want to talk to us and have us on camera. Unfortunately, we didn't get that this year. We talked at our last meeting about mass texts, and we wanted to talk some more if this committee feels that would be beneficial, especially since we're doing mass emails to people. So we wanted to get your input on that as well. We also looked into the smartphone application. We are not sure that this is the best way for us to go, because it's basically just our what we could do, what our agency would be able to do is basically what's already on our website. So should we focus more concerns at looking at our website and making that more effective and more user-friendly? Because we don't really have the IT staffing to be able to do our own app. So we would be something likely that would have to be contracted out. The medical board has their own app, but it is because they have their own IT staff within their staff. So we would have to utilize DCA for that. One of the main things that the medical board app is used for is license lookup. Our license lookup on our DCA website is super friendly to do from your smartphone. So we're not sure if that's something that we would need. We think we should focus our energies at making the website more user-friendly, that we would welcome any input on that as well. So that is the report that we have for this committee on various different topics. And now we will open that up for discussion amongst the committee.
You know, Chrissy, I was looking at that, and one of the things that keep coming back to mind, and even last time we met, was how effective are we updating and capturing the information from the licensees? We talked about, I think I even mentioned before that, like, everyone right now has an email address and a phone number. There is no way you can have online banking. You can't even have a Cash App card. They require you to have one or the other. So I know that it's not a requirement when they get their license to have that. So I really feel that we are missing a large part of the population by not capturing that information and making it somehow mandatory that we capture one of the two for the communication side. I think that a lot of times, a lot of things are going missed because we still have a lot of people who don't have updated smartphones or this smartphone. So they really are looking, through the email, and they're not going to go seek out TikTok or traditional methods right now to get this information. So again, I'm really curious of where we are with that, just starting there to capture the information that we need to get this information to consumers, not to consumers, but to licensees.
If I could add to that, this is Commissioner Isbell. I agree with Commissioner Fairley, what she just said about mandatory collection of information. I think that's useful. It's not mandatory that they have to have it, but mandatory that we do the collection. So if they don't have it, then they can just tell us they don't have it. But I think it's useful for us in our communications to use as many tools as we can to collect that information as it is available.
I do think it's getting better all the time with emails. If they provide it to us, we put it into our system. However, to make it mandatory or as a mandatory option to at least tell us if they don't have it, we would need to do, I believe, regulations for that. So it's definitely something we could look at.
So how do we go about that? Because I feel like we're going to keep on this hamster wheel of people not getting the information or the licensees not getting their information. Because think about it, people only get the checklist once they sign up for a new license. The renewals, unless we're going to add those into the renewal paperwork every time someone renews, they're not getting the checklist. If a inspector comes out to do an inspection, or not come out, we're relying on them to go to the board's website, pull up the inspection checklist, or get the information. Well, I can use myself as an example. There was a time where one of my stores went 4 years and never saw an inspector. So had I not had a new stylist come in, I wouldn't have gotten a new checklist. Not that I didn't know where to go get it. However, it was not something that was sent out or I would say put it on the forefront for me to take a look at. Of course, I don't do that now. I'm just using that as an example. But collecting of this information, especially from our licensees, we would definitely have a greater delivery rate of getting this information to them. So so when it comes to regulation, how is that brought about?
The committee can make a motion, and Sabina, correct me if I'm wrong, but the committee would need to make a motion for us to develop regulations to require this information. We would then work on that information and bring it back to this committee to then forward it to the board. We would have to look further into it. It could be a statute change that we would need, but I think we could do it in regulation.
Yes, that's right. That would be something we talk about in the future, of course. Should that be requested in a future agenda item, staff would, we would all look into it and be sure we are prepared for the next committee meeting where we could make a possible recommendation to the full board.
Great. And yeah, again, this is a requirement we're making of ourselves, not of the licensees, that we ask for this information from everyone that we work with. Yeah, that'd be great.
We do ask for it now.
We ask for it, but the problem, Reese, what we're trying to distinguish is it's optional. If you go onto the Breeze website, it's optional to put an email address. It's optional to have a phone number. So in the collection of the information, it's not, if they don't put it, and we're trying to reach the masses, the licensees, to give them information on upcoming regulations or laws and all this, there's a disconnect happening because we don't have this information per se because we have to have it. We have it as an option.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Then, yes, if it's a matter of having to put that information into the computer, then I would say yes, go for that.
Hey, this is Derek. Just want to add on to that as well. I think if I could recap from what I'm understanding, we're all in agreement that this is something that a feature that we would like to see on the website. Christy did mention that they'd have to look into see whether it's regulatory or statute or anything like that. So I think the first step is to kind of get that answer as to how that process would begin, and then we can move forward as to see how we can go ahead and add that. I think it's critical to have those fields on the website, and it's going to forward our progress as far as getting that information so that we can then send out the mass text. So getting to that portion of what we just spoke about, I am in agreement for the mass text. I think that's a fantastic idea, and it's another step forward positively. If I can just say something about the app versus the web, I understand that that can be a hurdle for us for the lack of staff. One of the things that we talked about in a previous meeting in regards to the website was being able to gather the information and form it in a way it was a little bit easier. I think, Tanya, you had mentioned that too in regards to the search. So if we can't get an app and we feel that the app is not the way to go, then maybe since we already have the team in place for the website, we can further develop the website to make some of these critical changes to make things a little bit smoother, transitions easier. And again, this would fold into adding the mass text and the customer, licensee information into the system as well. Just my 2 cents.
No, I totally agree with you, Derek, there too, because again, if we're talking about, moving forward and getting the information, and unfortunately, it's that, like they say, microwave mentality. When someone goes to the website, they don't want to go through a bunch of hurdles to kind of get the information that they need. So I definitely agree with you there, Derek, about optimizing our ability or the public's ability to access the website at an easier. Because for us, we say it's user friendly because we know it and we've done it. But for someone going in and not, not having the insight or the technical background to maneuver it, it could be a little challenging trying to figure out where to go for searching and all that information.
Awesome. In regard to the new publications, I think to Christy's point, I think that's actually fantastic that we do something maybe once a month where we send those blasts out too. So I would agree. I think it all goes in the process. 1, finding if we can do it. 2, if we can capture the information. 3, implementing it within the website. And then 4, go ahead, taking that action item and forward progress as far as sending out those once a month updates to licensees so they can see the changes and so forth. Do we have to, that's up to Tanya.
Anyone else on the board have any other comments?
Do we need to take a motion, or is there a motion in order to further this, or?
I don't know that we need a motion because it would be an agenda item for the next meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next we will
This is Sabina. That's correct. This agenda item anyway isn't agendized for action. So we have we've added it to our notes to kind of do a little research ahead of time and bring back to a next agenda.
Thank you, Sabina. So next we'll move to public comment. Public comment on items not on the agenda.
No, it's public comment on what we just talked about.
I thought this was just okay.
It's public comment
on this item.
Okay, I will now open for public comment on this agenda item.
We are now accepting public comment on this agenda item. If you would like to make a comment, please type the word comment into the Q&A box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen and send that comment to all participants. Dial-in users, please dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds now to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to return to the agenda?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we will open it up to public comment for items not on the agenda that pertain to this committee.
We are now accepting public comment for items not on the agenda. If you would like to make a comment, please type the word comment into the Q&A box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen and send that comment to all participants. Dial-in users, please dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds now to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to return to the agenda?
Yes. Members, do you have any recommendations or on any future agenda items?
Other than what we just talked about, of course.
Right, other than that. If no one has anything further, we will move to adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.